Hello, parents. Hi, parents. Hi, gift handlers. So, we are so excited to have you live with us on this channel. And I am Ma Iponde and here to inspire your parenting. So, my channel is about conscious parenting, giving you all the advice, tips that you need to sail through your parenting journey. So, today, like the title says, we are here to transform our kids mentally. Every child deserves a mentally informed parent. So we have a very special guest, and you can already see her beside me. So she's going to share a story on how we as parents can avoid trauma in our kids. Trauma is real, and we need to be aware of this. We need to equally heal ourselves as parents, and we need to avoid trauma in our kids. It is very important, okay? We're in a new generation, so trauma should be something that every parent knows. So I'm so excited. In fact, okay. I'm so excited to let Jubilee Adeze. I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Jubilee Adesi Azubike.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Nice name.
Thank you.
So she'll be sharing a story. Okay, this is not just like a lecture kind of thing to just train. No, it's speaking from experience. So she'll be sharing her story, her journey of how she got healed from her own trauma. And we are here, and I'm equally here to learn a lot, to learn everything. Okay, so take your notes, okay, and note down everything. So, Jubilee, over to you.
Okay. Hello, Ma. And to everyone that will join us yet, hello to you too. Thank you, Ma, for this opportunity. I'm always very excited when I have to talk about mental health. That's become something I'm passionate about. I'm so passionate about it until I think almost everybody around me knows that I talk about mental health. Recently, I was somewhere and someone said mental health. As in, the person was calling me because I've just about this thing until almost everyone knows that this is what I talk about. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm grateful for
Welcome.
it. All right, so my name is Jubilee Azubike. I'm a mental health advocate, a management consultant, and an entrepreneur. So let me just give a little bit of my story so that you would understand that everything I'm going to be saying here today is not something that I read up in a book. This is something that I have taken out from my life and I have studied as well in other people's lives and seen that it is true. Okay, so at the age of 9, going to 10, I lost my father. So because of the relationship that we had that time, we were very close. I was like his second wife, sort of. That was how close we were. So because of how close we were, when he died, it felt like I was thrown into a pit, sort of. Excuse me, and left to just perish there. It seemed like the lights in my life just went off and I was just left all alone. It was a very terrible period of my life. I spent 10 years suffering from depression, anxiety disorder, and my self esteem was very terrible too at the time. So after he died, I went through a lot. Part of the things that I experienced was I I was always trying to hurt myself. I spoke negative things to myself. I was always angry, always sad. I didn't have anything that I was looking or living for. It was just like I was existing. I didn't enjoy a huge part of my adolescent life. In fact, I didn't enjoy adolescent years. It was like I was just I don't know, you know how breeze carries um dry leaves around, you just keep going with the tide, nothing really is happening. That was the kind of state I was. And then it got so bad that I began thinking of suicide. I had thought of doing that while in the kitchen, probably cooking, and then maybe slicing onions. Before you know it, I'm thinking of how about I pierce myself. So many times I've looked at the ceiling fan in my room and imagined how about I just hang myself and die. There are times that I've when we were having issues with rats in the house, my mom buys this rat medicine, and then I imagine, what if I take this thing? What happens? I've imagined a lot of things, but I think where God's grace came through for me was that each time I thought about these things, I would always see a picture of my mom. It just come like an image, and I could see the trauma that she was going through after my dad died. It was a hard thing for her. And so I just couldn't imagine, I could go ahead because I was wondering, how will she survive? So I just couldn't do it. And then I was also at a near rape incident. In fact, the person had already come, and I don't even know what prevented the person. He made attempts, he started, and then before I know it, he left. It was it was a year after that near rape incident that I even remembered that something like that happened to me. That's to show you how detached I was from myself. I didn't even remember it. And for situations like when you wake up the next day, you should be angry, right? If you are a really sane person, you should be angry at that person that wanted to take advantage of you. I woke up the next day, I was indifferent. It was when I got help that I remembered all these incidents, and I was like, wow. So, wow. So, what if he had gone ahead? What would have happened to me? So it's been a crazy journey that I'm grateful for. So, I wouldn't want to dwell so much on my experiences because I have so many other things I'd like to talk about. So that was my situation. I was a victim of these mental disorders, and I have experienced it. So before I talk about mental health and how parents can promote it, let me uh, tell us what mental health is all about. Mental health is not really abstract. It's something that we all can relate to. It's Mental health is about the health of your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, and your social well-being. It has to do with how you think, how you feel, what instructs the decisions you make. That's just what mental health is about. It's not really something abstract like some people think about it. So, why is it that parents should pay attention to the mental health of their children? Why is it important? Now, let me make references to some studies and statistics that I looked up. Uh, so, there is a statistic that says that more than half of the mental disorders that adults experience start from their childhood. So imagine that in the world today, or okay, let me just narrow it down to Africa here. Imagine that in Africa here, we have 130 million people that are suffering from mental disorders. We have 130 million adults. What it means is that 65 million adults started showing signs of these mental disorders right from when they were small. And so they started experiencing these challenges. And so when they got to adulthood, it became more pronounced. Another statistic has it that 1 in 4 children live with parents that are mentally challenged. Meaning, if we have a group of 4 boys, let's say four groups of 4 boys, meaning 4 boys in each group, four in 4 places. What it means is that out of these 4 groups, one child in each group is living with mental disorders. Another statistic has it that Oh, okay, this one is not a statistic now. This is a study. It says that mental disorders are genetic, meaning if you as a parent have mental disorders and you do not treat it, you don't get help for it, chances are that when you give birth, your child will carry on these mental disorders. And you know how it is with negative things. You okay, let's imagine something now, that you have a a child. You as a parent, you are a drunk, you drink a lot. Let's say you don't even, because you are not a prostitute, you drink a lot. There is a very high chance that when you give birth, your child will not only drink, that child might also go into prostitution. It's like double measure of what you have. So now
Mhm.
imagine the same scenario with mental disorders. If you don't treat it, it it affects your child, it comes through the gene, and then it's possible that that child can get double of it if God doesn't come to that child's rescue. So
Wow.
this study that I have mentioned just shows us that mental disorders should be mental health, sorry, should be taken seriously. It shouldn't be taken for a joke. It's a very serious thing. And we here in Africa, we are yet to wake up to this reality. Imagine that in Nigeria, let me use Nigeria, we have just over a little over 200 psychiatrists. And imagine the millions of people that are living here. So you see that a lot of attention is enough attention is not paid to mental health.
Mm.
All right. So now that I've laid out the statistics and I've laid out the study and I've made you understand why you should be serious about your child's mental health. Then how can you promote your child's mental health? What are the practical ways, relatable ways that you can promote your child's mental health? Number one is, let's look at criticism and judgment. I was at a place one time, and this little girl, she mentioned to her mom that she wants to go and sing, that she loves to sing and she wants to join her mates to sing. And then her mom told her, "You don't have a good voice, don't go there." Say, "Mom, I want to sing." And then my mom told her, "If you go on that stage to sing, you're not going to do well. In fact, I'm not even going to watch you. I'm going to enter the bathroom so you don't embarrass me." Now imagine you telling a child this kind of thing. It's it's hard. It's harsh. It's not supposed to be. Okay, what is expected of this mother is that, okay, you know your child loves to sing and she wants to do it. How about you encourage her? How about you sign her up with a music teacher or something that will help her? How about you get her audio plates, videos that she can watch and learn from other people? There is nothing that can't be learned. In fact, as a child, it's easier for you to learn something, because what are you thinking about? You know, criticism, yeah, criticism and judgment does not help your child at all. Don't do that. Don't don't criticize them. And if they make mistakes, let them know that they can always come to you and talk to you about it. Another experience that I know of, there was this boy, he mistakenly gave his school fees to somebody to help him pay. He had a lot to do, and he just said, "Oh, this is my friend, let him help me pay the school fee." And then this friend absconded with the school fee. He couldn't pay it. And this guy was depressed. I said, "Okay, how about you tell your parents?" He said, "Eh? Ah, that is suicide." That you don't really blame him. We parents, sometimes we make it look like we never made mistakes when we were small. We make it look like we came down from, I don't know, maybe the sky or the moon, fully made, very knowledgeable, very intelligent. We didn't make any mistakes. We didn't fail at any point. So imagine if this guy had a more serious issue, maybe a death kind of issue, and he knows how his parents will react. Do you think he would feel free to express himself to his parents? So parent judgment, criticism, it doesn't help. Rather than criticize, encourage them. That doesn't mean you don't tell them the truth. You tell them the truth, but after telling them the truth, also guide them in the right path. All right. And also, instead of judging them, let them know that yes, it's normal, it's human to make mistakes. All right. The second point I want to talk about is comparison.
Yeah.
Well, well, before I got help for my mental disorder, before I even told my family, actually, when I found out that I was sick, I couldn't tell my mom because I felt embarrassed. I was ashamed of it, and I was wondering how can she bear it because she herself she was going through a lot. So I couldn't tell her. So I was just battling with it all through by myself. So before I told her, my mom used to be this kind of person that she always wants the best for me, but sometimes she's not able to communicate it properly. There's this girl in my when I was a child that she would always say, "Why can't you behave like this girl? What is wrong with you? Why can't you behave like this? If it is this girl now, she will do it this way, but see how you are doing your own." And so the thing affected my psyche such that anytime I found myself doing something with this girl, rather than do it and just be in it and enjoy it, it was more like a competition, an unconscious competition. And it was unhealthy for me. So when I found out that I was sick, that mentally I was challenged, and I got help, I realized that okay, this thing is not healthy. And so I had to tell her, I said, Mom, I understand that the reason you're always telling me this is because you want me to get the best. But you telling me, comparing me with this person, you should know that I can never be this person, and this person can never be me. So this is what comparing me with this girl makes this is how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I'm in a competition with her. Sometimes even when she wins, I just feel angry, and I don't like to feel that way. That's not me. So when I explained it to her, she understood, and ever since that day she never did it again. Right now when I'm doing stuff, even okay, when we started this campaign, this mental health campaign that we are on, and I told her about it, she's been so supportive, always calling to ask, how is it going, have you eaten, please sleep, oh, all those kind of encouraging words. That was after she found out that it was unhealthy for me. So stop comparing your child with another person's child. Even if they are twins, they can never be the same. They can never be the same. Rather than compare your child with someone else's child, let them see that uniqueness that God had put in them. Magnify that wonderful thing that they have, that wonderful aspect of them, and let them harness, help them harness it. Don't compare them with someone else. They are different. And the truth of the matter is, if you keep comparing them, a time will come whereby the result of that comparison will be very hard. It will be bad. And it will also tell on you as a parent. You see, adults today being very envious of each other. It's not something that just happened when they grew up. It starts from childhood. Rather than making them trying to compete unhealthy, competition is good, but rather than making them look stupid or less intelligent just because you want them to do very well, instead of doing that, you just make them to become friends with this person that you think is better than them. Tell them this person your friend, you will learn a lot. Like, put in them that mindset that okay, how about you be friends with this person instead of
Yeah.
making like they are always in competition with, you know. their mate or something. All right. So comparison is unhealthy. Another thing is friendship. Okay, I already talked about that when I was talking about judgment. I used to admire parents that have this wonderful relationship with their children because I am a benefit of it. It's beautiful to
Yes.
know that even when your child coughs and you are not there, the first person your child thinks about calling is you. It's a beautiful thing. But some parents are not really enjoying this beautiful relationship because they are not friends with their children. They don't give them that room to be themselves. I've been in a place where whenever the honk of their father's car comes at the gate, everybody dashes into the room. It's not supposed it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be that when your children hear that you are coming back, they are coming out to welcome you. Why? Because they know that they feel at home around you. So be your child's friend. When you are their friends, you understand their struggles. There are some things that they might want to tell you, but because of your disposition, because of the aura you create around you, they are unable to say it. So being unfriendly does not promote your child's mental health. If anything, it makes them scared. And
Yeah.
once there is fear in anything that someone is doing, it doesn't always work out well. All right. So there is the part about socialization. Remember that we mentioned that mental health has to do with not only the way you think, it also has to do with the way your actions, the way you act, and your social well-being. A lot of parents are hijacking the social well-being of their child. They are stifling it, and it's not fair. I know of this family that the mom, the parents, they don't allow the mom doesn't allow them to be friends with other people in the neighborhood, in their church to be precise, except her family, meaning her sister's children. Those are the ones that these children play around with, but any other person, they don't play around with them. Now, that is not fair. What you are doing is that when, okay, tomorrow, these cousins, they will not always be together. So
Yeah.
what happens when they are not there? Is it that they won't enjoy their lives? Is it that they will now hide or get stuck somewhere? You want to let your children get out there and really live. Of course, you
Yeah.
should be protective of your children about the kinds of people they associate with and everything. Yes, you should be protective about that. You should be mindful of that. But you should allow them to play. There are some children that their parents never want them to play with sand. Why? Because they will get dirty. And
Yeah.
so I'm not saying you should let them enter the mud, but let them feel free. Let them be the child
Explore.
that they are. Let them be children. One thing about life that I've come to understand is that if you don't do something the time you are supposed to do it, you will definitely do that thing. And when you be doing, probably when you are doing it, you now look stupid. It happens. Let me speak for myself now.
It
I
does.
mentioned my mental disorders started from when I was a child. And so, because of that, I went through all of that for 10 years. This mental disorders, it snatched my adolescent years. I didn't really get to enjoy adolescent years because I was living in my own world. It was like I wasn't existing. So I didn't know how to, socialize with people, how to be friends, how to make friends, how to talk with people. I didn't know how to do that. And I didn't know. So when I got help for my mental disorders and I began to live and I began to understand that, hey, I missed out big time on adolescent age. I didn't really get to explore. And it affected the way I related with people. It affected my communication. And I had to start working on it. It cost me something. There are times that I pay money enter a bus, pay money just to go and be with friends. It sounded stupid right now, but that was what I could do to remedy that situation. And right now, self, there are still some people that are yet to understand that, okay, this is me trying to actually make friends, that I don't used to be like this before. You get? So when, if you prevent your child from child, a time will come when this child will grow up and they will have to go back to what they missed. Is, I think it's just a principle in life that cannot be broken. You just have to let them be themselves. Let them be themselves. Let them enjoy their childhood. Yes, they should explore, but with your guidance. But do not stifle them. Do not tie them down. All right. The next point is about taking them out. Okay. I was reading an article. I read an article, I think last week, of a teacher that where she mentioned that as school resumed, she was asking her pupils what they did during the holiday, how their holiday went. And she noticed that some of them were talking while some of them were looking sad. And when she probed them to know what was the problem, they said that they didn't go anywhere. They've been indoors. And you could see the sadness in their eyes. I know that it is expensive and hard. In fact, being a parent is not easy. You have yourself to take care of, you have children to take care of, you have your spouse to take care of, you have your business or career or whatever interests you to handle as well. Is a lot. Is a lot. But at the same time, what is what is what's the joy in being a parent if at the end of the day you don't have a mentally balanced child, you don't have a balanced child? You might not be able to afford taking them to the most expensive restaurants or buying them the most expensive shoes or taking them to an art gallery or a music studio. But when you look around you in that immediate surrounding, there are places that your children have never been. It could be to the river, it could be to the farm, it could be to the market, it could be on a hill, it could be a garden, just a place they've never been. Now, let's say you don't have enough, you are managing with them. Now, if you make plans, if you are really intentional about helping them get the best, you make plans. You said, okay, so time I'll be taking these children out. Maybe what you're able to afford is 1,000 naira. And then you gather this your little stipend, and maybe what that 1,000 naira is able to buy is a few bottle of drinks and snack. And then you put it in a bag, and then you tell them, hey Junior and maybe Ella will be going out. I have a surprise for you. And then you take them to this place. It could be a riverbank, a garden, just any place they've not been that you can afford. And then you take them there. You play with them. You spend time with them. And then at the end of the day, you tell them that, hey Junior, hey Ella, I wish I can take you to this very expensive place. I wish I can do this for you, but I don't have it. This is the little I have, but I want you to be happy. They will understand. They will be happy. And then tomorrow, when friends are talking about what they were able to do during the holiday, you see that they will have something to talk about too. And it will even surprise you that some of these rich kids are looking for opportunities, like all these little things, that they could do, and they don't have the opportunity. And so when your child is saying, oh, my daddy did this for me, or my mommy did this for me, it sounds interesting to them. Why? Because they are children. My point is that you shouldn't use maybe your financial status. You shouldn't let it prevent you from doing the best for your children. Like I said, it doesn't have to be an expensive place, but if you can afford it, well, that's good. That's good. The main thing is that you are spending time with them, you are making them happy, and you are filling their mind with experiences. These are the experiences that when they grow up, they will tell their children as well. That there was a time that my daddy did not have money, and then he took us to the river bank, and then we ate snacks and we played with sand, and then he told us that he doesn't have enough, but he just wants us to be happy, and that is why he brought us there. And that alone is value you are instilling in this child. When they grow up, well, they understand the value of spending time with their own children. They understand how it has helped them to become mentally stable children that can have conversations with their mates without feeling insignificant, without feeling less confident. All right. So that's the part about taking them out, let them explore. There is another thing about threatening. Okay, I have seen I have seen parents that their children can't do take instructions from them if they don't threaten them. Meaning you
Okay.
cannot say, Junior, go and wash this plate, and Junior will go and wash it. The mother or the father has to say, Junior, if you don't wash this plate, you will not eat dinner. So that Junior will go and wash it. Now you don't blame the child because the trend of threats is not mental. You are you are junior's parent, and you should junior understand that taking instructions. Let junior understand that there is the consequences of not taking instructions too. So always threatening them is not really the best way to bring up your child. With time, you know how these things are. With time, they get used to the threat and it doesn't even mean anything to them again. They just go ahead and do it, and then at the end of the day, they are thinking, what will mommy do? What will daddy do? Maybe he'll just say he will not give me food. And anyway, I have a friend that lives in the neighborhood. If he doesn't give me food, I will go and eat from the neighborhood. You see, it's not really healthy. So rather than threaten them, let them understand why it's important to take decisions. Let them understand the consequences of not taking this instructions. All right. So threatening children is not the best way to bring them up. It 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 doesn't promote their mental health in any way. And with time they tend to become uh how would I put,
Nonchalant.
yeah, they become nonchalant about it. It doesn't mean a thing to them again. And when your child gets to that level, it's a very pitiful condition because there is nothing you could ever do that will get into their ears or that will
Yeah.
want to do change their mind, and it's not good. All right. So there is the part, okay, still on this threatening, there is also the difference between discipline and punishment. Now
Mm.
let me use an example now. Take for instance, it costs your child 200 naira to go to school and come back. Maybe the child goes to school with public transport. Now let's assume that you want to teach your child discipline or financial prudence or responsibility, and then you call Junior and you say, Junior, I'm going to give you 1,000 naira. Maybe on a Monday, you say, Junior, I'm going to give you 1,000 naira, and this one is your transport money for the whole week. If you spend this money, what it means is that you wouldn't have transport money to go to school, and the only option left for you is to trek or miss school. Probably Junior will be like, it's not my kind mommy or my kind daddy. I will spend it and my mommy will give me the money. Probably Junior managed the money very well until Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, he was coming back from school and then he saw some children buying ice cream and he decided, okay, I will just take some money from this money that daddy gave me for transport and I will buy ice cream. When I buy it on Friday, I'll ask daddy to give me more money and yeah, daddy will give me. Now, if you are serious, if you want to teach your child discipline, if Junior comes on maybe Friday and say, Daddy, I am out of money, can you please give me 200 naira to go to school? And then you ask him, what happened to the money I gave you? He say, oh, I bought ice cream the other day. He said, okay, what did I tell you about spending this money on some other thing? You said that if I spend it, I will go to school by foot or I miss school. You say, very good. So that's what's going to happen. You see that you trek or you miss school. You say, Daddy, please, I have an assignment to submit. Did I or did I not tell you not to do this? So now, if you go ahead to not to give that child that money again, what you've done is that you have let the child understand that, hey, there are consequences for every decision that you take. If you go this way, there are consequences. If you go this way, there are consequences. And that child has understood that there is something called responsibility. That child has understood, if it's financial prudence you wanted to teach the child, that child has understood that as well. But let's say you spend that money and then what you end up doing at the end of the day is you get cane and begin to spank this child. Sure, I told you not to use this money to buy something else. Why did you do that? And then you begin to spank the child. At the end of the day, you've only punished him. There was no discipline there. He doesn't really understand what he has done. But when you let him face the consequences of what he's done, you have ended up passing a message across to him such that even tomorrow, even if it's not the same situation, he will apply wisdom and know that this is what I did and this is the consequences of it. And so he is better informed. You have ended up teaching the child something. So when you are raising your child, when you are trying to raise up a mentally stable child, you want to reduce the aspect of threat. You want to focus on discipline. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is studying them.
Yeah.
You know that spending time with your children can do for you is that with time you get to know their interests. And there is something, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there is something about a child that is doing something that they are talented at. Okay, let me use Beyonce for instance now. Beyonce started singing right from when she was small. And then you see that, okay, it's not that she just woke up and maybe when she was already an adult, she learned to sing and then she's singing. It started from when she was small. And maybe I have not really gone so deep, but I know that she had some kind of support, and it helped her to become the most one of the most celebrated singers that we have in the world today. Now, there are people like in Nigeria here. There are singers that started singing just when they came into adulthood, and then when you look at them now, when you look for them on the stage now, they are no more there again. They've left it to go and find something else. Now, there is something about you harnessing your child's talent when they are small. Kind of confidence that it builds in them. I can't even express it. Like, it is top notch. I can say to myself that right from time when I was small, I love to sing. And I remember my mom used to buy a lot of audio tapes. A lot. Singers, foreign American singers, she buys them and I learned how to sing. I not that I learned, I became better at singing. And right now, when I sing, a lot of people be like, "Where did you learn that from?" That was right from when I was a child. Yeah. So you want to study your child. You want to know what they are naturally inclined to, and you want to help them harness it. Don't make them deviate from their natural inclinations. Don't do that. It's not healthy. See, I don't know what other people define success, But for me, success is peace. Success is happiness. You can't get happiness and peace from something that you were forced to do. It
Yeah.
doesn't, and you want to make sure that you want to know, as a parent that really cares about your child, you want to know that your child is happy, genuinely happy. Do not force your child to become something that they don't want to. A lot of parents make that mistake today of trying to force their abandoned dreams on their children. It's not fair. It's not fair. So it's not fair. Let them live their lives. The truth of the matter is that if you force them, a time will come. The result of you forcing something that they don't want is that one is that they can get rebellious. Or number two is that they will end up living their lives miserably. Haven't you seen rich people, people that are you think are successful, successful in quotes, but when you look at them, they are not really happy with that. And then when you begin to engage them, you find out that this is not really something that they wanted to do. They were forced into it. Even though it's giving them money, it's paying their bills, they are not happy. So do not force your children to do things they don't want to do. In fact, I believe that there is no course, there is no career path that is trivial. Every career path is important. Like now, I don't know, the smallest part of our body, I don't know, is it the tongue? What is it? Do you know?
No.
Maybe it's the ear. Okay, regardless of how small it is, if you cut one of your ear now, there is a problem. If you say
Yeah.
the small and you decide to cut it, there is a problem. And that is the same way it is with career path. Regardless of how trivial or insignificant you think it is important. And if you do your job well by helping your child to harness that natural talent, that natural inclination that they have towards something, they can turn out to be the best in that thing. And when they
Yeah.
become proud, when their names are announced on global stages, who is proud? You. So let them live their lives. Besides money, there is another level to success, which is happiness, which is peace. But personally, I define success as money in monetary terms. I see money. I see money as just reward. But real success for me comes from a place of peace, happiness, and then you can add money to it as well. But just money alone, it does not define success for me. All right. So the next part is about acknowledging effort. Acknowledging effort. There are some parents that thank you never comes out of their mouth. It is very
But they expect the thank you.
like it's very your child does something, maybe you ask the child to do something, and then he does it. Thank you can't come out from your mouth. Yes, we know that that child's parent. Of course, it's undisputable. But it won't take you anything to just say thank you. It doesn't cost anything. It's indisputable that you are their parent, but it doesn't cost anything. Now, the thing is that when you raise up your child that way, they do something, you tell them thank you, you appreciate them, you acknowledge their efforts. You are building their confidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a child that is very confident? Like it is a beautiful to behold.
It's so nice.
You see a small child doing something confidently. Like that child, I don't think there is anything that can crumble that child if that child continues that way until they become an adult. It is a very, very beautiful thing. So acknowledge their efforts. Okay, take for instance now, you ask them to do something and they don't do it well. Yeah, you when you come, maybe you ask them to wash the dishes, and at the end of the day, you see that there is still some oil around the plate. You first of all tell them thank you for doing it first.
Yeah.
Acknowledge their efforts first before you go ahead and say, okay, next time when you are washing it, add enough soap so that you can wash out the oil very well. You see, that way the message is passed across and everybody is happy. Not just happy, but you have taught that child something. Because
Mm.
however you bring up your child, that's the same way the child will bring up theirs, and you see the cycle continues. So acknowledge their efforts. When you do that, you boost their confidence. When you do that, you see that they get more confident facing life's challenges. Another thing is for you to practice the power of spoken words.
What?
It was with spoken words that this world was created. Excuse me. This
Yeah.
world was spoken words. And that is to show you how powerful spoken words are. After your devotion in the morning or whatever morning ritual you do in the morning, you you should have a few lines, probably 5 lines, depending on the child's ability to remember it, to rehearse it. Something like, maybe after you have finished praying, it's something like, my name is Junior. I am an intelligent boy. I am handsome. I bring solutions to problems. I bring joy to my parents. I am a solution provider. I help people. I bring comfort. Something like that.
Yeah.
So when you make it, when you force it on them, let them learn it by heart, such that after devotion every day, you spend time with them. Maybe you hold their hands, you are sitting quietly, you hold their hands, and they say this thing maybe with their eyes closed, and let them mean it. With time, you see that these things become part of their lives. What you
Yeah.
are doing, you are helping them understand right from even when they are small, that even as children, they are powerful. And
Yeah.
once you are a confident child, there is nothing that child cannot do.
Mm.
Confident children are very hard to break, very hard to break. And that is something that the world cannot handle. Confident people. You see that
Yeah.
challenge thrown at them, people challenges that it threatens to break them, but because of that upbringing that they have right from when they are small, it's hard. If you see a child that learned something right from when they were small, it's hard for you to take away that particular training or whatever it is from that child. It's hard when they become an adult. But when they are already grown up and you are trying to instill that thing in them, it becomes hard. So practice spoken words with your children. Let them understand right from when they are small that they are unstoppable, that the world is theirs to conquer, that the world is theirs to take. I believe the core of taking care of your child's mental health starts with building their confidence. Once
Mm-hmm.
their confidence is built, then you can talk about friendship. You can talk about being there for them. You can talk about any other thing. But a child that is scared, there is nothing you will tell that child that will enter their ears. I don't know if you've known that when you are talking to them, their heads are bowed, like they can't
Yeah.
look at your face. So it's something that you want to really consider. And then there is, okay, this thing is about school visits as well. Now, there are parents that once they drop their children in school, in fact, once the child resumes school, any other thing they are doing in that school is not their problem. Their own, their own is prepare and go to school. They don't want to hear any other thing again. PTA meeting, teachers meeting, they will not come. Come and support your child during competition or something. They will not come. You will not see their faces. It does not encourage your child. It does not promote their mental health. Because mind you, that their mates, the parents of their mates come to see them. And so imagine that every day, let's say Junior's parents used to come and see him in school. And then maybe Emmanuel's parents don't come, and every day he looks at them. He sees how Emmanuel's parents comes, encourages junior student comes, encourages junior, maybe even gets him some gifts in school, and then talks to their teachers about them, and then goes. This child is watching, and you'll be feeling bad that, oh, my mommy is not there, oh, my daddy is not there. And even when they are facing challenges, they can't even trust you enough that you will show up for them.
Mm.
Something that visiting your child in school does. I know you are busy. I know being a parent is not easy. You can do this just maybe once in a month, depending on your schedule. You just drop by randomly in school with maybe a little gift. Ask him or her, how is school? How are you doing? You ask the parents, how is school? How is my child doing? Encourage your child. There is something about you showing up in school and then your child is telling you, oh, mommy, I wrote this test and I don't know, I just feel like I didn't do well. And then you tell your child, don't worry, I trust you, you will do well. Now remember that you are telling this child this thing in school, not at home. Now, you making that extra effort to come to school to see them is something. Is something. Children want to know that their parents are available for them. Remember that I said that the core of promoting your child's mental health starts with building confidence in them. Anything that will make their confidence to go down is unhealthy for them because it will affect, right? So that is that about school visits. And then there is something that I see some parents do. They make their children feel like they are doing them a favor by being their parents. That's not fair. That's not fair. Your child did not ask you to give birth to them. And it is their right to be taken care
Yeah,
of.
they're
Their right.
right.
It's not a privilege you are giving to them. So if you buy a school, maybe a school bag for them, you shouldn't make it look like because I bought you this school bag, you must make me proud. No, let them
Mm.
understand that if they are making you proud, it's from a place of doing it for themselves. Let them understand that if they do well, they are doing it firstly for themselves before you, because they cannot give you what they don't have.
Mm.
Just the same way, before you are able to love somebody very well, you have to first of all love yourself. If not, you'll be manipulated. You end up being somebody's, I don't know, errant or something, puppet. Yeah. So stop making your child feel like it's a privilege that you are taking care of them. It is your responsibility. It is their right. So don't make them feel indebted to you. No. Thank God for the name of your community, ma. Gift handler. These children are gifts, and you are handling them. You don't own them. You do
Yeah.
not own them. You are only taking care of them for somebody else, and that is God. And so you shouldn't make them feel like they owe you their life for bringing them into this world. Remember, they didn't ask you to give birth to them. You chose to bring them. And so you have to take care of them. It is your responsibility and it is their right. So stop
Yeah.
making them feel indebted to you. If rather than telling them, making them do things, excel because they want to make you proud, let them excel because number one, it is good for them. Let them understand the benefits of being excellent, that it will make them stand before kings, that it
Mm.
will a more comfortable life. Let them understand that if they excel, that they'll be able to live an impactful life. They'll be able to help the next person. Let them understand that they excelling is their gift to themselves and not
Mm.
you. When they understand this, you see them going after their dreams with a clearer mindset, with
Mm.
a broad mindset, with a healthier mindset. And of course, when they succeed, who will they call as their parents? It's not you. So you don't really make it look like they are indebted to you. You don't have to make it look like they are doing this for you. I've heard parents say, I am taking care of you now so that when you grow up, you take care of me. It's not by force for them to take care of you. I know this can be hard. Yes, of course, you deserve to reap the fruit of your labor. But that's not the best way to go about it. Let them understand why they should be successful. Let them understand that it is their gift to themselves and their own future children. And you see, when you make them understand it this way, it's easier for you. All right. So the last part I want to talk about is morals. Morals. I mentioned the power of spoken words. When you are telling your child to say, I am a king, you should also teach that child how to behave like a king. Let me tell you a story. So there was this parent that I read it online too. So he said he went to pick up his child from school and he had just gotten to the gate and parked his car. And he saw his child coming from afar. He was watching him from the mirror. And then his child was coming with a group of boys, I think about two or three of them. And then suddenly one of the boys went ahead and then he crossed his leg, and then this man's child stumbled and fell. And then he saw the boy rose up and he was very angry. He was charging towards the other boy that made him fall to go and attack him. And then the father called him from the car and said, no, 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 Junior, Junior, don't do that. Don't do that. Kings don't behave that way. Kings don't behave that way. You want to teach your child to practice what they are saying they are. It doesn't just end at spoken words. It also continues with actions. Words are the beginning, then actions are the ending. Let them act like those people that you want them to do. Teach your child to be full of love, empathy, to be respectful. Now, one thing teaching your child good morals does is that if they do well, and people that know value will see them and they will appreciate them. Say, who did this? And maybe they say, oh, it's Junior. Wow, Junior. Wow, that is good. And then maybe somehow you learn about it as a parent. Of course, when you learn about it as a parent, you want to come and tell Junior, Junior, maybe Mrs. Ella said you behave this way. That is good. Keep it up. How do you think that child will feel knowing that daddy said keep it up? You get? So you want to teach your child to behave like who they say they are. I don't, you can't be mentally healthy without good morals. These things go hand in hand. You are confident and your character is smelling, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Character will always, always come before any other thing you have to present. It will Character will always win. Character will always win. Teach your child to show love to people. Maybe you are walking along the street and you see a beggar. You can carry some notes, maybe a little note, put in that child's hand and say, go and give it to that beggar. Now, there is a why you did not go to give the beggar yourself. There is a reason you put it in that child's hand to do it. Tomorrow, when that child has some money and is walking along the street, he understands the relevance of being empathic. He understands love. Why? Because you are teaching that child. All right? You want to teach your child to be respectful. You want to teach your child to know that when daddy is talking, when mommy is talking, when your teacher is talking, you don't talk back. Whatever mental health you want to promote in your child, whatever level of mental health you want to promote in your child, if there is no character, it is a waste of time. You want to have a balanced child, not just a mentally stable child, but a socially stable child, a spiritually stable child, a financially stable child, a well-rounded child that is grounded in every area. All right. So a quick summary of everything I said. I talked about why mental health is very important. I gave references to statistics and some study. I also talked about what you should do as a parent to promote your child's mental health. I talked about stopping comparison, judgment, being your child's best friend, letting your child explore, being friends to socialize. I talk about making going the extra mile to take them out. I talked about not threatening them. I talked about teaching them the difference between discipline and punishment. I talked
Mm.
about studying them and harnessing their natural talents. I talked about acknowledging their effort in anything they do. I talked about visiting them in school. I talked about instilling the right values in them, and then I
Mm-hmm.
talked about the disadvantages of making them feel like you are doing them a privilege or a I don't know something good by taking care of them. I talked about that. So that is I think I've come to the end of my talk, and I would just like to end with this quote that there is no health without mental health. Any kind of health that you have, if mental health is not added, is not in the equation, that is not health. Health is
Wow.
not complete without mental health. So thank you so much, Ma, for the opportunity. And for those that will be watching the replay, thank you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask, and I would answer. Even after watching the replay, if you have questions, still ask, and I will answer. And I also want to mention that I am currently on a mental health campaign, and what I am doing is just to spread the word about mental health. And if you are listening and you have some mental challenges, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I've said my story before that I used to be depressed. I used to have anxiety disorder, that I was almost raped, I almost committed suicide. I've mentioned this thing before. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. If you are going through any of this and you need help, we have a therapist that is working with us. And for as little as 5,000 naira, you can get help. Is very, very small. She that's not her initial her price, but she just did that because she wants to support us on this campaign. So if you are going through any mental disorders and you need help, please reach out, and we'll connect you with this therapist that will help you. Thank you, Ma, for the opportunity. I am happy that we did it. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Jubilee. I mean, it was just so amazing. I've actually learned a lot, and there are many
Thank
things
you.
that we parents we actually need to practice. Oh my God. It's really a privilege to really learn all these things from you. So amazing. Okay, so any parent who have a question, you can ask the question in the comment section, and Jubilee is here to answer your question at least for the next 10 minutes. Yeah, before we round up. Mhm. So in all what you were saying, I could relate in a lot of things, like in a lot of things. Mental health is something that I think everyone has gone through it in one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. You
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
look
And
at
and
mental
as
as a phase that everybody has to go through at some point. It's just that some people are not able to come out of it easily. Some people need help to come out of it. But I think everybody faces some mental challenges at some point in their
yeah,
lives. So,
yeah, it
yes,
does. Yeah, as we were talking, even I was like picturing instances of when I was young, this thing happened. When I was this thing happened. My parent, like I was like, oh, that's trauma is real and it actually happens. And we as parents, we need to be informed. We need to be aware so that we help our children not to pass it on to the next generation, and the cycle keep continuing.
yes.
Yeah. And if there's one question that I want to ask is that for a a child or a parent who is actually traumatized or who has these mental problems, is there like a process, a procedure for that person to be healed? Is there like step by step guide, for someone to really be healed from mental illness? We talk about therapy.
Child. Sorry, did you mean for a child?
Yes, for a child, even for a parent, I don't know if there are two different methods.
Um, the first step to being healed as someone that is going through mental disorders is acceptance, admittance. A lot of people run away from admitting that they are mentally unstable. In fact, of course, who wants to say I'm sick mentally? It sounds crazy, and it's
Yeah.
something people might not be so proud of. So the first step is to admit it. It's just like you cannot go to get painkillers if you don't admit to yourself that you have pains, right? You go to get painkillers. If something is hurting you and you keep denying that it's not painful, you won't go to get help. But when you acknowledge that this thing is paining me, you will go to seek help. So the first step starts with admittance. Admit it to yourself. So after you admit it, what's the next step? Get help. Reach out for help. There is also the part about okay, if you are not able to come out of it, maybe even after talking to people about it, you feel stuck. That's why we have experts. Talk to them. But then there are also other factors that can help promote mental health for a person. There's the part about your environment, there's a part about the people around you, there is the part about you getting busy and not playing, hosting pity parties for yourself. There is the part about you soaking in the pain, the hurt that you feel and not denying it. So there are different things that you would have to consider, but the first step starts with admittance, and then
Mm.
you are making the effort to seek help. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, thank you so much. So for every parent that's watching us now, if you feel like okay, you need to actually heal from some trauma so that you prevent it from your kids, then that particular offer, that discount that Jubilee just proposing is also amazing. I mean, I've like kind of checked on some prices for therapy. It's actually more expensive than that.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, so that is really an amazing offer. So parents, please go grab it, and our community Jubilee is in there, so you can contact her and she will be there to give you directions. Okay, so we've come to the end of this video. Oh my god, why is it ending now? I want it to continue. We have come to the end. Thank you so much, Jubilee. I mean, oh my god, I'm going to watch this over and over again. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so. Okay, so we've come to the end of this video. So I've come to the end of this particular event. Where I'm so excited, like to have had you in this event. And if you love it, just give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to this channel, okay, to get updates, to get tips, parenting tips like this that's going to really help you to provide the support that you need in order to sail through your parenting. So see you in our next video.